wanted so hard to put words on paper about a man who couldn't run out of them. I'm so missed that. In his John Hill, khaki shorts, and flip-flops, he had people either smiling or saying, "What's wrong with this guy?" One thing about my dad is that he loved his people. He loved them so much. Family was everything to him. His brother Andrew and brother Dave meant so much to him. Visiting his mom in Lake Wiley was something else he loved. Riding that big old boat. He was the captain of that boat. He would always talk about his buddies. I'm not exactly who some of them were, but I know he loved them. He had that effect. My friends and I adored him. Big Ed is what we called him. He would always have us rolling with laughter, speaking about the most random stuff. He loved my mom, and I know he loved us. Me and him would go at each other, calling each other super clowns, and cheer for the opposite teams just for fun. It was all love. He taught me how to love. He taught me how to laugh. He taught me how to mess with people in a good way. And he taught me how to drive. He taught me how to eat wings. He taught me how to rip the bumper off a car. And mostly he taught me how to kick a soccer ball. The biggest connection me and my dad had was soccer. Every game he was there. On the sideline, yelling at the refs or barking at the other team. He loved it more than anything. And staying in those hotels for tournaments is something I'll always cherish. He would always drive me and my brother to the games. Every time before getting out of the car, he would say the same thing. He would give us a handshake and say, "Let's do this. Play hard. Don't play scared. Your best player on the field, we got this." My number one fan he was. I get nervous when he's not standing on that sideline with his arms crossed, with a widespread panic hat, got his shades on. Way off to the sides where he likes to stand. Every game I can spot him. Once I do, I have no worries. He's the reason I'm out there. Every time he catches me looking, he'd give me a thumbs up or he'd give me a little fish shake. Now instead of looking over, I'll be looking up. The sky is watching me, he is watching. Chirping at the refs from the birds in the trees. Playing in that high school game past window was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I didn't get that pep talk, but I heard the birds chirping. I recited what he used to tell me in my head, and I went out there and I did it for him. I wasn't scared. I knew he was watching. He'll always be watching. I'll never let my time with him be forgotten. All that Mexican food, going to the beach, and his stomach getting more burnt than possible. His unforgettable laugh, his shattered Samsung Galaxy, and his truckloads of clothes. I'll love you forever, good time. You're the real super fun.
Okay, I'm Abby. Phone calls with Ed go something like this. Starts with "shello" or "what's happening big time," for then him to do what he did best, talk. You literally had no idea what was going to come out of his mouth, but that's why we answer his calls. Because no matter what comment he's going to make, or story he's going to tell, is going to make you laugh. We all crave that Ed serotonin. Plain and simple, the man was a funny guy. My dad and I got along very well. I mean, we had our fights, especially about my car. What he thought was a steal was a $3,000 hybrid from eBay with a license plate he found on some website. I ended up breaking down practically every time I drove it. So yeah, I would get a little frustrated. But even though I would get mad, he was always the first person I called. And the second he heard my voice and what the situation was, he dropped whatever he was doing to do everything in his power to get that piece of junk running again. Or so he could call himself a hero. I know he was simply trying his best to make things right. With me especially. And he had to make things right between us because we had TV show plots to discuss. Jeez Louise, we were TV watching fanatics. He would sit in his room or on the couch with his Samsung phone 2 inches from his face, watching so intensely the newest episode of the show, while I was also watching from another room. And that night we would debrief everything that happened. We would judge the show and the acting and whether it had good music or not. Because that was very important. The music. That was the key to his heart. Music. Me and him would sit in the kitchen, snacking on his cut-up carrots and celery, chatting about the most random stuff hours on end. His live music was playing from the speaker, Premier League soccer playing on the TV, my mom would be preparing to make one of her famous online recipe dinners. My family would come together. As he said, we just have the best family unit. And he was the heart of it. He is the heart of it. Yeah, he gave people weird nicknames and he was such a close talker. He would say the dumbest stuff, sometimes offensive stuff. He'd constantly be making animal noises. Or if you didn't like you that day, you were blocked. He had me blocked a few times. But God, he was such a good man. Everywhere I went with him, someone happened to know who he was. It was crazy. He left an impact on every person he talked to. I know he's not a call away anymore, but I know he's still here. He's cracking jokes with the Queen right now. Sharing with Pops and Mac Miller. Maybe hanging out at Carmela's, the heaven version. Watching Ozark and looking down on every single person that is here. Because he was such a loving human. He was a good man, and he was my best friend. I love you forever and always, Big Dad, Clowno, Dorkitis, Brother Man, Dad. You're at peace now, and I know you want this to be as short as possible, so let's wrap it up. And as he'd say when hanging up the phone, bigger name on the other line. Bye-bye now. Also, I just want to say, if you're struggling with addiction, I know someone that is, please seek help. Do it for your family.